You are listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and the interview subject I have coming up for you is Björn Strid. He's in the outfits the Night Flight Orchestra and also Soilwork. The reason for the conversation, though, is to promote the Night Flight Orchestra's brand new album for 2017. This one is called Amber Galactic. So let's have a listen to what he has to say. Here we go. What can you tell us about Amber Galactic?
Well, I think it's our most focused record yet. We've had two albums out before this one, and basically, with the first one, we just got together and started jamming, and I think, I love the two first records, but I think they also been sort of like a learning, it's been a learning phase as well to actually kind of channel all those millions of influences that we have, from a special era that we love. I would say 77 to 83, that's to be as specific as possible.
Spot on. Yep.
Yeah. And so I think it took some time, and I think that this record is, there's a really good flow. It's super melodic and super catchy and all that stuff, but it's also feels focused, and it feels there's a lot of presence in it, and there's also a little bit of a sort of a space theme running through it,
Yes.
Both with the lyrics and I think the music as well. Like a song like Gemini, it's almost like space rock disco kind of feel to it, and so I think the biggest change I think is also the keyboards, because we decided to cut out the Hammonds completely,
Right.
because we don't feel it fits our music very well, and it's been done so much by other bands that do a completely different thing, like the early 70s that we've heard a lot the latest 5 years, I would say, with retro wave going on, and I think this really stands out. I think this record stands out today, and I think it's also needed out there, in the music scene, because nobody else is really doing this right now, and this is what we love. So, and I think you can hear it.
Yeah, very good point. And do you expect much crossover from fans that listen to Soilwork?
I think most Soilwork fans are pretty objective in general, because they've gotten used to surprises, I guess, with Soilwork as well.
Yep.
Because we have evolved with Soilwork, with our sound, and so I think most of them are, they expect a surprise for each and every album with Soilwork. So I think, of course, Night Flight Orchestra, it's gotten a little bit under the radar. So to some people, it might be a little bit of a shock, but
sure, yep,
not that much of a shocker, I guess.
So, I know what you're saying, and look, I'm one of those rare fans of metal that really like house music as well, and so I love artists such as Daft Punk, Kavinsky, Electric Youth, who play, of course, electro and house music, and they all adopt an image similar to the one that you've got with Night Flight Orchestra. Is that a coincidence, or would you say even some house music and some electro music is an influence over the sound of the Night Flight Orchestra as well?
Wow, that's interesting. I haven't really heard that before. I mean, I love Daft Punk, and I love the funk influences and sort of samples and stuff. So I don't know if it necessarily had an impact. I just know,
Sure.
That I like, for example, Daft Punk. I can appreciate some good old Jamiroquai as well, and
Nice.
Stuff like that. So I have listened a lot to disco as well, late 70s disco.
Yes.
And I mean, there was so much rock that was disco infused as well. I mean, look at Kiss. I like to call it when they were Kiss, playing Kissco,
Yes.
and yeah, I mean, that's a great era, at least for me. There's a lot of people who hates it as well, but I like that because that was real disco. It was real instruments, and it was played so well. It's fantastic musicians. So it's I like that era when just about anything was disco infused.
Yeah, no, I agree. Bands like Chic as well, Bernard Edwards and Nile Rodgers, fantastic stuff, and especially his collaboration recently with Daft Punk. I love that.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big fan of cult movies from the 80s, such as The Wraith, Flight of the Navigator, The Goonies and Tron, and the Night Flight Orchestra's visual accompaniment has a kind of retro feel like that. So can you tell me about the influences and inspirations behind the visual aspect of the band?
Yeah, I mean it's a very creative unit. We have just about everything within the band. We have Sebastian, who joined the band permanently on the previous record. He did the artwork, and he also mixed the album, and he also wrote two fantastic songs on the album, Gemini and Jenny.
Great.
So he's quite an asset.
Yeah.
To the band. Fantastic guy. He's good at everything. And then, we have another mixing guy in the band as well, Richard Larson, the keyboard player. So they both have studios. So we have everything we need in this band, really. But as far as the artwork, I mean, David is the big sci-fi nerd in the band, and he planted a seed, 1.5 years ago before we pretty much started writing songs for this album. And he reads about like 3 sci-fi books every week in his bathtub. That's what he likes to do when he's not a doctor, which is as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What a mess. Yeah, I know.
Very, very diverse lineup. There you go.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I think that's what we aim for as well, to have a little bit of a sci-fi feel, like a retro sci-fi feel on the cover, but also something that's sort of timeless. It's so many of those covers, whether it being a movie or an album, are very timeless from back then. It really sticks out, and it's always beautiful. For example, a cover like the amazing Kamikaze Syndrome by Slade. I don't know if you've seen the cover.
No, I haven't. No, tell me about it.
No, it's kind of hard to explain, but it definitely has some similarities with Amber Galactic, and I think that was one of the albums that wow, this this would be cool, to create something like this, because it has a timeless feel. It's a beautiful cover, and
okay,
everyone who hasn't seen it should check it out and also listen to the album. It's great. It was one of my faves when I was a kid.
Fantastic. Now, I first saw you on tour with Anthrax and Killswitch Engage in 2004. That was I don't know whether that was your first Australian tour, but it was one of your first at the very least. What's your relationship been like with Australian audiences over the years?
Wow, I mean, it's coming to Australia. I mean, we've been lucky enough I think we've been there 7 times, 6 or 7 times, and we came there at a pretty early stage. Nowadays, it's very very common that European bands and American bands come to Australia, but back then, and I think our first tour was in 2003. That was kind of unique, so we have a great relation with our Aussie fans, and we always love coming to Australia. It's I mean the journey is it's rough. It's really rough. And the jet lag never goes away, really. You're normally there for a week, and then you might head off to Japan. But I mean, we've always had such a great time. And last time we toured with Soilwork in Australia, I brought my dad as well, actually, on the entire tour. Yeah, that was a trip of a lifetime, and I'm so glad I got to do that with him. And it was a very special moment. And I don't know, there's something so dreamy about Australia. My favorite thing is to listen to Crowded House and go on domestic flights in Australia and look out the window. That's a very special feel.
Fantastic. Now, a question about you, actually. What would you describe has been your biggest challenges as an artist and as a musician?
Biggest challenge. I mean, I've never really had any issues with maintaining my voice. I never really took care of it, but it's somehow always worked. And I think the biggest challenge has really been, the balance with business, that it's sort of like a necessary evil, and it's inevitable. But I'm proud to say that I'm still, what really, inspires me still is the music. It's not, the business side, and I'm a terrible businessman. And
well, you must be doing something right, though.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, because I'm still so focused on the music, and as soon as there's business coming in, it just it rubs me the wrong way, and it's like, I don't want to deal with this, but I have to, or I guess it's a very Swedish thing as well, I think. in a way,
Gotcha.
We don't like confrontations. We don't like business very much. And yeah, we just want to focus on the music. Give me the mic and I'll sing,
Yeah, absolutely. So another question about you, if you don't mind me asking, if it all ended tomorrow, if you had to stop playing music tomorrow, do you think you've achieved everything that you wanted to with all of the bands that you're in?
Pretty close. I mean, I have so much left to say, and I'm still having so much fun. But I would, I also come to a point, we've been doing Soilwork now for 20 years, and I'm aware that we won't be the biggest metal band in the world, and I've stopped comparing myself, and I stopped comparing the band to, what level we're on and other bands are, which happen, when you grow up. I think it's only a natural process in a way, but I'm at peace with that. I'm so proud of everything we've done with Soilwork, and we still, it's not over yet, of course, but I'm at peace with it, and I can be so much more focused on the music, as well.
Yeah.
And
Fantastic. Now, I ask this question of all of my interview subjects, so humour me here. Have you got a hilarious or funny tale from the studio, from a rehearsal room even, on tour or on stage that you could share, and it can be as not safe for work as you so choose?
Okay. All right. Well, there's a pretty recent one. It was a pretty cool moment. When we were recording Amber Galactic, it was a late night, and usually when we get together, there's a lot of alcohol involved, and and cheese and wine and champagne and God knows what. It's a little bit of a get together and a party and a barbecue, and it usually goes on for a week. We have like sessions, and. So basically, one evening we're sitting there in the studio. We're pretty much done for the day. Our drummer fell asleep on the floor, I think, and me and David were just sitting browsing YouTube videos, classic ones, and we ended up watching Mick Jagger's performance at Live Aid in 1985, doing the song "Just Another Night."
Okay,
and it's such an amazing live song. It's just a fantastic live performance. The album version is not that good actually, but the live version is fantastic. And we're just sitting there, we're in a good mood, me and David, and then it's like, and I'm saying like we should do a cover of this one, shouldn't we? It's like, and David is like, yes, let's do it right now. And basically, we woke up the drummer. He was he was drunk and he fell asleep. Basically,
yep.
Wake him up. His name is Jonas, and we wake him up. It's like, hey, we're gonna record a cover. What? Like what cover? It's like, it's a Mick Jagger song. Like, get behind the kit. Let's do it. And it's like, okay. He was like completely gone, and the rest of the band joined, and we sort of jammed around it and recorded the whole song live with vocals and everything on the third take. And like from, we were just slowing down that evening, and everything just happened, and it turned out to be fantastic. And then we got a saxophone solo overnight sent to us, and really? When we woke up, and had a saxophone solo, and it was done. So
is this a song that we can expect to hear sometime soon?
Well, it is the, let me see here, it's the bonus track on the limited edition for Galactic. So I hope you also get it there as well.
Bit of context to it there. Gotcha. Okay. Bit of a scoop there. Right. Yep. Yep. Well, that's about it for me. Are there any final words that you want to share with Australian listeners?
Well, I mean, this band has gone a little bit under the radar. I think, people are really going to appreciate it, and, listen to Amber Galactic and check out the two first albums as well. They're kind of hard to get because it was, distribution was pretty limited since we're on a pretty small Italian label. But anyways, I really hope, it might take some time, but I would love to do an Aussie tour with this band. It would be completely different from Soilwork, and so yeah. I really hope it will happen, and I would love to do it. So yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we'd love to have you down here, and thanks so much for your time. And once again, congratulations on a stunning new album.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No worries, mate. Cheers.
All right. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.
You have been listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series. My name's Andrew Mackay-Smith, and that interview subject was Bjorn Strid. He's in the outfits the Night Flight Orchestra and also Soilwork. Thank you so much for listening.